When I was little, I thought Sonic and Knuckles had always been friends. Boy, was I wrong. Look, in my defense, I grew up in the 2000s. At this point, Sonic and Knuckles had always had friendly interactions. There was no beef. And if there was, I always assumed that it was playful beef, you know? That is until I was introduced to Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It was on sight every single time for these two characters. And so it caused me to look at this scene in Sonic Adventure a little differently. It wasn't just two friends jawing back and forth. It was them potentially renewing an old rivalry. I thought this character dynamic between Sonic and Knuckles worked well. They both had semi-fiery personalities, both a bit stubborn. It gave an interesting dynamic to their relationship, which I appreciated. So what happened? I mean, guys, come on. From this point on, Sonic and Knuckles have basically become the best of friends. The only ones being closer to Sonic might be Tails and Amy is a bit of a stretch. And not that I'm complaining about this, I enjoy their friendly interactions, but that rivalry, it just gave them a different sort of edge. So why did that rivalry fade away? Now, it was never a question to me that Sonic and Shadow were always rivals, will probably always be rivals. They hate each other's guts. They contrast in more ways than one, they're each other's foil. They low-key come across as if they hate each other but have no choice to respect each other. Frenemies at best, enemies at worst. I've always felt like Shadow and Knuckles have had similar characteristics, particularly when it comes to their stoicism. Their seriousness has always been a stark contrast to Sonic's not seriousness.
Oh, yeah. This is happening.
But I guess where you can say that they're a little different is that Knuckles gets a little impatient. A little is an understatement, obviously. It's a subtle difference, but it's just enough to where you can tell that they're not the exact same character. Unfortunately, I think Sega felt like they were too similar, so they started to change up some things when it came to both of the characters. In the 2000s, Sega started to lean into extremes, making Knuckles dumber and dumber by day and Shadow edgier and edgier by day. Knuckles basically became a dumb jock, and Shadow, he's just that edgy guy, you know. And to me, it just kind of got to a point to where they became caricatures of their original selves. Like, yes, Knuckles was gullible. He probably still is a little gullible. But being gullible does not equate to being stupid. Sure, it can mean that you make stupid decisions, but that doesn't mean you're a stupid person. And then Shadow being misunderstood meant that he was automatically this edgy guy. I feel like this is the main issue with stories aimed at children because character writing leaves no room for nuance. And this isn't just a thing in Sonic games, this is across all media. A lot of writers tend not to respect their audience if they're kids because they think that kids can't get it and kids need extremes and all these different things, and it's like, nah, you have to trust that kids understand what you're going for. And unfortunately, in the 2000s, Sega did not do this. But even with these changes in characters, I feel like Shadow was still more respected amongst fans and amongst the actual writers. I mean, come on, why does Shadow get to be portrayed as the strongest thing on Earth? Okay, I understand he is the ultimate life form, but you get my point. He may be edgy, but he is beloved. I don't mind that Shadow has kind of taken Knuckles' place as being Sonic's main rival. My only gripe is that we please do not take Knuckles to be this dumb jock and to lessen his character in order to elevate Shadow's character. You can do great things with both characters without taking something away from the other, you know? If you couldn't tell by now, Knuckles is definitely my favorite character, and I do feel a way about how Sega has treated him for the past decade and a half. But with that being said, I'm still fine with where he is right now as a character. They've done a great job with him in the movies. I like the way that he was portrayed in Frontiers. Knuckles is doing alright. As for Shadow, yeah, he's still Sonic's rival. And that's a good thing. It challenges our favorite Blue Blur in ways that he'd never been challenged before. And that makes for interesting character development and character growth. Anyway, that's gonna be all for this video, guys. Thank you for watching and supporting this channel. I'll be back with another video soon. Stay tuned.